Oh shit. Here we go again.
Last night, I made a wish.
Why is there an ad playing this shit? Ah! 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 I would like to wait. Oh, okay. I guess the models. Okay, everything's working now. Shit. Okay, I would like to give. First of all, hello. I am so glad to see you here, and I am so glad to see you on what is that? A stable frame rate. Oh my god. Hello. Did you miss me? I missed you guys. Did you miss me? Also, why is chat not showing up? The fuck? Oh, now it is. Okay, I don't know why it wasn't before. We'll just refresh that. But you know what? What do we say? We are so back. We are so back. First of all, big fucking shout out to David. Okay, because I literally just started crying because I was like, damn, what if I could never stream again? What if my computer's just fucked, you know? And he pulled out, wait, he pulled up, don't laugh at that, that makes it worse.
There's something that I want to say, but I won't.
Stop! Okay, but anyway, shout out to David for pulling out, real one there. But anyway, David pulled, and apparently what it was, is it was, Intel Killer Network Optimizer, which, certainly
Didn't do that.
it did not optimize the network, so I don't know what's up with that. I don't know what the fuck is going on. So, but it's working, and that is all I can say. But hi, how have you guys been? I thought, it feels weird because I literally spent like 5 minutes talking to you guys yesterday, and so I was like, but apparently no one heard any of that. So, whoopsie. Do we still want to do a donathon? Like, be so for real with me. Do we still want to do the donathon? Because I think I still have everything set up. Honestly, I was so worried my computer was borked. I was ready to just be like, fuck it. No more donathon. No more donathon. But, like, I still... Leo, thank you so much for the 10 months. I had to go away, and I wanted to come back yesterday. But now I am here again. I no longer have mono. But yeah, I was really ready to cancel the donathon aspect of all this because I just thought my computer was bricked or something. But like, I still have the sound alerts and shit enabled. I leave tomorrow for a month, that's okay. I hope your trip goes well. I had to take a break for a month because I got fucking mono on my birthday, which sucked. But I have all that set up still if we still want to do that. I honestly don't know at this point because we had to change the schedule. Although, the schedule still kind of works because we could do... So, did I post the new schedule? I might have deleted the tweet. I think I deleted the tweet because I was sad. Understandable. But, we were gonna do a donathon as I came back, and do we still want to do that? Because I have pretty much the way it was gonna work is every $100 I had a punishment wheel set up, and then we had the goals and shit. I have a command for it. Let me actually add that. I think it was STREAMATHON was what it was. It was this. Honestly, at this point, I don't give a shit if I make no money. I'm glad I can stream again. But we have all the goals there, right, that we were gonna do. And I'm going to be streaming now, for real, every day until I debut. And potentially on Thursday as well, because my new model debut is coming on Wednesday. So tomorrow, we're gonna be playing through David's mod list from hell that he has made for me. That I am very excited about. And then, Wednesday, I will be debuting my new model, and then Thursday, I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something. We're gonna do something. But I don't know what yet, and I don't even know what the fuck we're doing today. But here, did I post here we go. Here are the donathon goals. As always, please do not donate unless you are financially able to. Honestly, with all the fuckery that's happened, I don't know how this is gonna go, but we're just gonna leave it up there. Why not? We have the punishment wheel every time we hit $100. That's not for a $100 donation, but every $100 we get just like in general. And then it doesn't say it on the thing, but I do have custom sound alerts enabled for $69 donations, $100 donations, $420 donations, and $1,000 donations. I don't think anyone's going to donate $1,000, but just in case some billionaire wanders into my stream, the alert sound for that is like 30 seconds long. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna do it, but like, just in case, you know, I want to cover all my bases. But yeah, so that's happening. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do today. I literally, like, didn't plan anything, because I thought I wasn't gonna be able to stream at all, but now we're back, so I guess we can just play some fucking Skyrim. I think that sounds like a good, why don't we play some goddamn Skyrim? All right, here's the real testament. Is this shit working or not?
Easily blocked.
Swiss Roll Ninja has just donated $100. Donathon or no one giving you money.
All right, well, Swiss, I love you so. Now we know the $100 dono sound. Thank you so much, Swiss. I appreciate you, but you know what that means. You know what that means now. So first of all, now, okay, let me do this. So let's do this one step at a time. One step at a time. Okay, can I do? Let me see. Donathon goals. Okay, can I like just draw a line through these? Let me see. We're gonna do this. Okay, where's the text source thing? Here we go. We're gonna do this, and we're just gonna do. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna make a channel in Discord. If you're not in the Discord, by the way, it is it is here, and I'll just put this in general. But let me do this, and you can, if you are part of the Discord, you can post in here. I'm just gonna put it here. We have made the $50 goal. Please post anything you'd like to be my profile picture on all platforms for a month and react to ones you like. The ones with the most reacts will be my profile pic. Yay. Only rules, because I don't want to get banned, cannot be excessively NSFW. Please don't send me a picture of your penis and then try to get it to be the fucking profile pic. Okay, that's our first one. And then our second one, so now we are going to stream on Thursday because we have goals to complete now. Pizza time. All right, and then now here, the $100 goal has been met. Please make me and David a pizza. Note, we are getting it from Domino's. Suggest toppings and vote for ones you want on the pizza. Okay, yippee. Alright, we are $25 away from the next goal, yippee, which is chat makes EB a cocktail, so that'll be interesting if we make that. So let me do another one for that. Let me do just copy, paste, and we'll just do that. Okay, and then the next thing, the next thing we have to do, which I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to be honest. Let's, here, where's my window capture? Or actually, let's do it. Yeah, we'll do it just on here. Window capture. It's time for, oh, let me close my Google Password Manager before I show my screen. Holy shit, that could have been bad. It's time. So, welcome to, oh wait, there's no sound. Okay, maybe let's actually go back over here. Okay. Welcome to, oh, I don't have a window capture here either. Oh, I was not prepared. Also, hi Noah, welcome in. Okay. Da-da-la. Oh wait, let me put that. Put that over here. Okay. Wait, no, not all the way over there. Da-da. Ah! Okay, so this is the punishment wheel. every time we reach an increment of $100 in donos, we spin the punishment wheel. And you can see some of the options are not too crazy. Some of them are a little quirky. So one of them is I will put on a dunce cap and look really silly. One of them is I will talk in an ooh-woo voice for 10 minutes. One of them is I will just sing a random karaoke song of chat's choosing. One of them is a big boy shot, because I can't say alcohol shot at Twitch. One of them is someone will get a random gift song. One of them is I will do 20 squats, or I will eat uncooked pasta, or we will get Risby for 10 minutes. We're gonna find out what that means when we get to it. And one of them is either clown nose, which is just I put a clown nose on my model and I look really stupid. And then the other is weed bee and Nico bee, which will, again, come to those when we get to it. So let's spin. It's time. It's time for my race. It's time to uncomfortably flirt with chat for the next 10 minutes. You can't see if I'm like sticking my tongue out and everything. Oh my god, chat. Chat. You're so sexy, chat. You know, I bet, you're the only, are you from Tennessee? So you're the only, can I see?
Easily blocked.
John_Ross has just donated $125. Hi, smile.
John Ross, oh my god. Fancy seeing you here. Sorry, guy. Like, I wanted to see you here or anything. You know, thanks, baby girl, for the 125 dono. That was really sexy of you. We are in Risby mode for the next until 6:55. Thank you so much. Okay, now that's what we had, 260. Oh my god, chat, you're so sexy for all the $260. That was so hot and sexy of you. Oh my god, thank you so much. Okay, and now, oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. We have now unlocked chat makes chat makes me a cocktail. I think I'm gonna die. So what we're gonna do on a really sexy Thursday, we're gonna do all of these at once. So we're gonna have the pizza and the cocktail all at once. Oh my god, cocktail, more like cock. Okay, let me. We have reached the $200 goal. Wait, no, 150 goal. Suggest things to go into a cocktail for me. Vote on which ones you'd like by reacting. And again, these are all in the Discord if you would like to. They're all in my Discord if you want to slide into my DMs if you want to. If you want to. So that is going to be there. And now, oh boy. Now we also have unlocked chat. Do you want me to set polls in the Discord with the Domino's toppings? That would be awesome, actually. We have also unlocked chat makes a new Skyrim character. What size, by the way? Let's do like a medium. So I know what we're going to be doing today. And then we have also met the new EB Skyrim cover. So I will now be covering a new Skyrim song. So we are $40 away from the Gardic phone stream, which we will also probably be doing Thursday. All of the goals we're probably going to do on Thursday. It'll be a very sexy Thursday. So let me update the thingy. Thank you guys, I really appreciate Fudos. But thank you guys all for being here. I really was in my darkest hour. Oh no, the sound didn't play because there's this. Thank you so much. Let me play this sub sound. It didn't go. Ah, fuck. Ah, fuck. I wasn't on the screen. Where's the button? Where's the button? Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. Test. Oh no, it didn't play the thing. That's okay. I'm sorry you didn't get a PlayStation 2, Senelia, but you have a PlayStation 2 in my heart. In your very sexy heart. It's a really big, beautiful PlayStation. Very thick PlayStation. Okay, we only have 4 more minutes of Frisbee. I promise, I promise. Okay, there was something else I need to do. Oh, right, I need to change the thing. Okay. Where is it? Chat, is this? Yes, it is Riz. I'm rizzing you up right now. You all want to... Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud, actually. Why are you not feeling rizzed? Are you not rizzed? Okay, hold on. I got this. Okay, take this. Okay, I got this. Alright. Okay. I'm so mad. I checked Spotify's hottest singles, and you weren't on there. I did not Google pickup lines with Riz on Google. I did not do that. Pinky fucking promise. Play what you want. Okay. Where's the fucking button? Where's the button? There it is. Okay. All right. Let me change this one. Okay. We're at 260, and then starting amount is 260, and then if we get to 300, we get, what was the one for 300? I forgot. Gardic phone. Okay, let me do that. Okay, all right. Done. Gardic phone with viewers. Okay, phone with viewers. Okay, and then it'll end on the 14th. Okay, I know how to do math. I'm sorry, I have to be not Riz for a while so I can do math. Give me 1 second to do math, and then I will go back to rizzing and mewing and all that fun stuff. Okay. All right. Let me see this. Oh, in 2024, not just 24. Okay, it's your face. Okay, thank you for the lurk, Leo. Okay, all right, let me do another one. All right, let me see. Oh, these are bad. Like I'm looking at them and I'm like, hello. So when's the wedding? Whose? Ours. Oh, I forgot to turn my tits on. Hold on. Wait till I have it turned on and then you can all beat me to death. Hold on. I know that's your favorite activity, is beating me to death. Resist to come from within. No! Okay. Are you my grades? Because you're bad AF. And I'm fucking stupid. Okay, let me... Oh! Okay, that's fine, actually. I can show that, that's fine. Okay, there we go. Is it good? Alright, let me see. Can you beat the death out of it? Can you beat... Yeah, okay, thank you. Another one, thank you. I'm just so happy to be streaming again. I'm so fucking happy everything worked. I was so ready to just lose my goddamn shit and just start crying and sobbing. Thank you. Okay, let me see. One more. We have 1 minute left. We have time for one more. And then we'll do another punishment wheel spin. Are you French? Cause, damn, you're fine. Good thing I have a library card. Cause I'm checking you out. Are you a Nissan? Because I want you all to my... That's so stupid. Oh my god, I'm killing myself. Okay, okay, it's 6:55. No more Risby. Alright. Are we ready for the next spin? What do we got? Oh, shit. Oh, god damn it. Okay, fine. Okay, I know. Alright. I didn't want to do this. I said I would never do this, but... Okay. Alright. Go on. You can say it. Say it. I know. I'm a furry. I get it. Hey, why is this one that color and this one's not this color? Oh, that's the wrong one. Well, I'm not a furry, but if I'm gonna have cat ears, they need to match. I don't want to be cringe. Oh, I think it is it this one? What did I do? Why did I click the... Why is it not... Why is it not... Why is it the wrong color? No, my cat ears are the wrong color! Wait, what is this one? Wait, how do I get... No! No! I want my cat ears to be the right color! No! Is it this one? What do I... What? The figure? Oh, I think I know how to do it. Wait, how do I make it the color? Oh, no. I don't know how to copy an item. I don't even know what I picked. Alright, we'll have mismatched cat ears. You know, if you weren't a furry, you wouldn't care. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Is it this one? Maybe it is this one. I don't know. Maybe... Oh, it is this one! Wait, no, I need it to... Fuck. I need it to be the right way. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I'm the dumbest little cat girl on the planet. Okay? Okay. Okay. Oh, wait. That didn't work. Okay, here. There we go. Alright. Are you ready? Oh my god, they perked up. Wait. Whoa. Whoa. That's kind of cool, actually. Oh, wait, I forgot something. Hold on. I forgot something. I forgot a very important part to this. Hold on. There we go. I forgot almost the most important part. Oh. You didn't think I wouldn't have a tail, did you? You know, like, yeah. Do you want me to, like, be, like, actual cute cat girl or, like, ironic cute cat girl? Like, what is the angle we're going for? Because we could really do either or, you know? Like, do you want me to nya, like, unironically? Or just ironically? Like, how much do you want to sexualize me on a scale of 1 to 10? Like, nya and then puke on the carpet. Oh, I can do that. Okay. Oh, I can't. My voice is still fucked up. Can I like do like the really? I can't do it. My voice is still fucked up. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Vomits on your carpet. That's what you get from me. Also, I don't know how to make this stick to my butthole. Can you do like the sticking? It's not. Is it in? It's not in. Hold on. I need to make it go in. It's not moving with me. I need it to move with me. Why is it not? It's not in. It's not in. The fucking butt plug isn't. God. No. Gabriel, thank you for the raid. Thank you, Katarok. Thank you for the raid. We got the double. I am not putting a butt plug in. I'm not. I promise. Oh, why is it not going in? I want it to stick to me. It's not sticking to me. It's not. Hi. Thank you for the raids. If a mod could shout out both of them, I'd appreciate it. I guess we just... It's not sticking! It's not it's supposed to stick to me! It's not sticking! Oh, it's in! It's in! Oh, why is it doing that? Wait, do you see that? It's not... I don't think... You see it? Like, it's like vibrating. I don't think this is how butt plugs are supposed to work. I think my anus is ruptured. Holy shit. Welcome back. And that's well, I guess this is just how it's gonna be now. I guess oh, you know, it's vibrating. Thank you so much, Swiss and John Ross, for the donations, and thank you everyone who's subbed so far. Boston, thank you so much for the resub. I appreciate you guys immensely. Unfortunately, subs don't count towards the timer. because fuck Jeff Bezos. But any PayPal donations and bits will count towards the Donathon timer. So welcome everyone. As you may have heard, we are doing a Donathon, or a Streamathon. There's no timer on it because I'm still recovering from mono, and my doctor said not to stream 12 hours at a time. But we are streaming every day until my my Skyrim model debut. So why am I a cat? You know, fantastic question for everybody here. Why am I a cat? So we have what's called the punishment wheel, and every $100 worth in donations. So we've spun it twice now, and if we get another $40, we'll spin it again. We have the punishment wheel. And the first punishment we got was Rizby, where I tried to Riz chat for 10 minutes. Maybe we'll reduce that to 5, because apparently I have no Riz. And the second one was Neko EB. So, yeah, I guess. But we do have another goal to get to. And since this one I think we can do today, we are gonna make a Skyrim character together, y'all. We are gonna do this together. So no more punishment wheel for now. We'll put that away. And I think, oh god. Also, my little things aren't updating. I'm sorry. Is it time for the rim? I think it's time for the rim. I haven't opened Vortex yet, so we're gonna see what happens. But let's see. So the way we're gonna do this one, right, is this one. So we've so far made chat makes EB a cocktail, and chat picks my profile picture, and chat makes me a pizza. All of those we're gonna do on Thursday, just so, because David doesn't have a car right now because his car's getting fixed, so he can't like run out and go get a pizza, right? So we're gonna do all those on Thursday, but this one we can do today. And this one, the way we're going to do it is we're gonna start off, well, you know what? I think I know exactly how we're gonna do this. We're not gonna do a poll. A lot of Skyrim character creation is based off of numbers, right? So for each OC, or for each value of any, you know, thing we can pick, like the nose length, the boob length, whatever, whatever number I read in chat is gonna be what we do. So once the game opens and once we are in character creation, pick a number, any number, and that'll go for some, and I'll say what it's going for, but the first one I see is the number it'll be. So we'll probably have some weird proportions, but that's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. So Skyrim is opening right now, so I can't alt tab to see chat right now. But let's take a look-see as soon as Skyrim opens. Give her a moment. She's, you know, my computer's making noises, but it's like nothing too crazy. Oh, there it goes. It's beatboxing. You know when it starts beatboxing, that's how you know it's okay. Alright, if she starts beatboxing, it's gonna be okay. Alright, so let's start. Let me see. It's loading. Once it's done loading, then I'll alt tab and bring chat back over, and then we can we can get this show on the road. So let me see. Come on, Skyrim. It would be so fucking traumatic if we went through like all the shit with my internet not working and not being able to stream, and then Skyrim wouldn't launch. That would be fucking awful. So let me bring you guys over here. I have to go. Oh, that's okay. Well, thank you so much for the raid, and thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me. I don't know why that dot's there. Let's just do that. Oh wait, right. There's 2 of you now. Okay, let's go. But thank you so much, gamers. I appreciate. Oh no, my butt plug. I appreciate you immensely. All right, let's do. Leave me alone. There you go. Is that good? That should be good. Okay. And then here, and then it should be set to Skyrim because that's all I fucking play. Okay. Let's take a look. All right. Are we ready? We're so ready. We're ready. You're ready. We waited for this moment. All right. Now, the first option only has 2 options. It is male or female. So you have to pick 1 or 2. I'm sorry, that's just how Skyrim has it laid out. So just first number I see is our gender. That is how we are deciding gender, is through numerical means. So 1 or 2. First one I see is the one that goes. Go fast. Okay, we are woman. We are woman. Everyone's spamming 2. You know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, we're not gonna do presets. Let's go skin tone. So we have from 0 to 9. Or actually, no, we have to do race. Let's do race first, because that determines everything. Are you just starting? I just got here. So we've been going for 35 minutes, but since we made the... Oh, let me make sure the goal is over here, too, actually. Hold on. Since we have made our goal to... have chat create a character, we are going to have chat create a character for me. So if you just got here, the way this works is for each option in character creation, pick a number, and I will say before you spam, so Lagwolf, if I see you, you're too fast, and whichever one is the first one I see goes. So you're just gonna have to be fast. You're gonna be on your shit. So how many race options are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So pick a number 1 and 12. Okay, 2. We are a Breton. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, let's get that. We're gonna skip the presets because I think that's not as interesting. Okay, all right, it's time for head. Okay, let's go complexion. All right, let's see. 1 through 4. 1 through 4. First new chat message I see. Go. Also, I'm like levitating. Hold on. Let me make myself not levitate. All right. 1. Let's go. All right. Complexion 1. So let's see what that is. Thank you, Sammy. All right. Let's go. 1. Okay. She's got a little dirt on her face, but that's okay. All right. Dirt color. 1 through 4. Ready, set, go. Dirt. Dirt. Dirt color. Let's see. And if no one, okay, 2. Let's go. Dirt color 2. Okay, nothing too crazy so far. War paint 1 through 14, or negative 1 through 14. All right, war paint negative 1 through 14. 1, 2, 3, go. 5. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I fuck with it. War paint color. 1. Oh, Jesus Christ. War paint color. Okay. 1 through 23. Ready, set, go. War paint color. 1 through 23. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. All right, 23. All right. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, she looks like she has pee on her face. Good for her. Okay. Now we're getting into the quirky options. So ear height is 1 through... God. Ear height is 1... Negative 2.99 through 2.99. Negative 2.99 through 2.99. All right, ready, set, ear height, go. Wait till I say go. Negative 1.69. Okay, perfect. This is... Okay, I fuck with it. I mean, that's not too bad, I don't think. Her ears aren't... Her ears aren't, like, too crazy. Welcome in, everybody. That's positive. Oh, negative. Okay, I missaw it. Okay, here we go. Negative... Okay, alrighty, here we go. Alright, wait until I say it. Elf ear tip. Negative 2.9 to 2.9. Ready, set, go. You did say negative out loud, though? Damn. It's been a crazy day, dude. Damn. Alright, negative 2.9 to 2.9. Elf ear tip. Negative, okay. She kind of looks like a Final Fantasy character, not gonna lie. Alright, negative 2.99. What does forehead fix do? Oh. Okay. Alright, 0 to 2.9. Alright, forehead fix, 0 to 2.9. 1, ready, set, go! 0. Okay, no forehead. She will have a normal forehead. Okay, I see it. Alright, ear Alright, ear shape 0 to 7. Ear shape, ready, set, go! Alright, I saw the 0, but that was after I said ready, set, or before I said ready, set, go. Alright, but it was still ended up being 0, so that works. Alright, ear size, negative 2.99 to 2.99. Ear size, ready, set, go. They're like flapping at you. Alright, 2.99, let's go. Face depth, what does this do? Okay, face depth, negative 2.99 to 2.99. Ready, set, go. Face depth. Face depth. Like she's done plastic surgery. 0. Okay, so 0. Then, okay, her face is gonna be normal. Her face is normal. Okay, what about face height? All right, face height, negative 2.99 to 2.99. Ready, set, go. This is the most character creation, or chaotic character creation stream I've ever done. This is gonna be something. All right, 0 in the height. Okay, so her height will be normal. Okay, her face is normal. We like to see it. All right, what is... Jesus Christ. I forgot about this one. All right, age. Is she negative 2.99 years old or 2.99 years old? Age, ready, set, go. Negative, okay. Negative 2.99. So she's a baby. She's a baby. Okay, that's fine. All right, forehead depth. Okay, that one's, oh. All right, forehead, a lot of these are negative 2.99 to 2.99. So we're just gonna assume that's the case unless I say otherwise. All right, forehead depth, ready, set, go. 2.69. Okay, you love to see it. 2.69. All right. Perfect. All right, what is head shape? That's 1 to 5. Okay, all right, this one's 0 to 5. All right, head shape 0 to 5. Ready, set, go. So if you just got here, we're creating a character together. And I am listing the numbers for the sliders, and the first one I see is the first one we go with. So you gotta be fast. Okay, all right, 3. Let's go. Face part. What does this one do? We're gonna just skip that one because I think it just fucks with the skin tone. We'll do, what about mouth part? Does that do anything? I don't think that one does anything. Some of these are, I fucked it up so they don't do anything. Alright, next one. Head up, down, negative 10 to 10. Negative 10 to 10 for head up / down. Ready, set, go. 10. She's a 10. She's a 10. But not in the way you think. But not in the way you think. Alright, head forward or back. Okay. Alright, head forward or back. Negative 10 to 10. Ready, set, go. Negative 10 to 10. She's an elvish alien. That's the aesthetic. That's the aesthetic. 0. Okay, she will have a normal head. Normal head. Alright. I'm proud of you guys for being able to show restraint and not make all of them fucked up. I'm so proud of this community. Okay. Nose type. Okay, 0 to 30. Nose type. Ready, set, go. Nose type, nose type, nose type. This one's not too crazy, I don't think. This one's not too bad. Nose, nose, nose. 21. Okay, 21 nose. There we go. Alright, this one's fun. Nose height. Negative 1 to 1. Ready, set, go. Nose height. Negative 1 to 1. Alright, 1. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, now we're getting... Okay, this isn't too bad. Alright, jaw width is negative 1 to 1. Alright, jaw width. Ready, set, go. Negative 1 to 1. That's our range. Negative 1 to 1. I mean, it's... Okay, negative 1. It's some restraint. Just, you know... Not a lot. But I'm just happy there's some, okay? Alright, cheek. Did we do jaw height? Yeah, that was the... Oh, no, we didn't do jaw height. Alright, jaw height. Negative 1 to 1. Jaw height. Negative 1 to 1. Go. Up, 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 up. It's not too bad yet. I think the real damage is gonna come from when we get to, okay, negative 0, or no, that one was negative. It was 0.69. That one does not go to 6.9, so I'm gonna round up to 7. Jaw forward though. Yeah, no, jaw forward also negative 1 to 1 with no decimals, or well, 1 decimal place. All right, jaw forward. Ready, set, go. I think the real curseness is gonna come when we get to the body sliders, personally. I'm sure she's gonna have one boob be a lot bigger than the other. Okay, all right, jaw is gonna be forward. Senellian is cleaning the floor with these ones. Okay. What about this one? What does this one do? This one's not too bad. If it's not like a dramatic change, I'm not gonna change. We're not gonna do it. We'll just skip it for time's sake. Let's do, does this one do anything silly? Yeah, these are like really minor changes, so I'm not gonna mess with them. Because it's more funny if it's like a major change. You know what I mean? Let's see, what's the next one we can do? What did these do? Oh, okay. Here's one we can do. Are we making Dobby the Hag Raven? Hi, Lexus, welcome in. We are having chat create a character for me. So I'm gonna give you a category, and then you pick a number between the value and the value. We'll do. Does jaw height do anything? Oh yeah, we'll do this one. Where does face height? Oh yeah, we'll do this one too. Okay. All right, let's go to face. Wait, what's cheek back? Okay, these are, okay, now we're getting into good stuff. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Okay, let's start here. All right, nose area depth, whatever the fuck that means. Ready, set, go. Negative 299 to 299. Ready, set, go. Type your number. Type your number. Her eyes might come back. It's really up to you guys. It's really your call. What are we doing? 1.25. Okay. 1.25. Perfect. All right. Cheekbone width. This one is negative 299 to 299. Ready, set, go. Cheekbone width. 0. Okay, she will have normal cheekbones. Wait. Your cheekbones are safe for now. Alright, what about this one? That one's like a minor one. We'll skip that one, and we'll skip this one. Alright, now this one. Okay, here we go. Alright. Oh wait, cheek back width. Alright, all women have 2 different sized tits, so I guess that's not... I mean, I'm not thinking like... I'm thinking like one's gonna be like a double D and one's gonna be like a negative A. Okay, this one's fun. We'll do this one. Negative 299 to negative... or to positive 299. Cheek back width. What we got? What we got? 0. Okay, she's got normal cheeks. Good for her. You're so normal, queen. Look at her. Look how normal she is. She's so normal. You're so normal, baby girl. Okay, let's see. Okay, perfect. Face height. Okay, this is really... Does she have eyes or does she not have eyes? Alright, face height, negative 299 to 0. Ready, set, go. Do we have eyes or no eyes? Eyes or no eyes? Okay. She will have eyes. Good call. Good call. Alright, this one's not too crazy. We'll skip this. Oh, this one. Yeah, we'll do this one. Jaw height 2. Negative 299 to 299. Ready, set, go. I feel like an auctioneer low-key. I feel like I'm talking really fast. I'm just like... You know what I mean? Look at that. Look at that. What that chin do? Negative 299. Okay, that works. You love to see it. She's... Oh my god, queen, you're so skinny! She's so goddamn skinny! Okay, what about this one? Does this one do anything funny? This one? Yeah, we'll keep that the way it is, actually. Alright, does any... Oh. Okay, we'll do... Wait, can I get a side profile of that? Hold on. You sit... Oh god, her fucking... Oh god. Okay, she kind of looks like a Titan from Attack on Titan from the sides. Oh, Jesus Christ. Looks like she's eating her nose. All right, let's do this one. Nose tip slope. Negative 299 to 299. Go. First one I see goes. First one I see goes. 0. Okay, you will have a normal nose. Normal. All right, now, nose length. All right, nose length. Negative 299 to 299. I'm trying to like do this so like while you guys are deciding during the delay you get a view of it. Okay. Maximum no. God. That's not good. Okay. Oh. She's already so fucked up. I don't know if nose Shelly in depth is well. How pointy do we want her to be? Fuck it, we'll do this one. Negative 299 to 299. Negative 299 to 299. Okay, negative 299. Okay, we're gonna keep that the way it is. Cause here's the thing, we can fuck up her face a little more. I mean, we're gonna go on to the next category because we still have to figure out her eyes and her tits. Okay, and I think that's gonna. Okay. Oh god. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's do the fun ones. I don't think we need the traditional eye shape. Let's start with eye color, okay? Eye color is gonna be a big one. We've got 0 to 116. Pick your eye color, 0 to 116. Now we've got options, okay? Now we've got options. We've got lots of numbers. If one of you fuckers types 69, I swear to fucking Christ. Okay, 116. Thank you. I know that took restraint, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Okay, now here we go. Eye height. All right, 1 to negative 1. 1 to negative 1. Eye height. Let's go. Okay. That's not too bad. That's fine. What's eye depth do? Wow. Ooh. Thanks, I hate it. Okay, eye depth. No, negative 1 to 1. Ready, set, go. She looks like a deformed Who from Whoville. important. Here's a who looking ass. Okay. Eye depth will be normal. There's another one. We'll do we want her to have eyeshadow? You know what? I'm making an executive call here. She's gonna have eyeshadow. And there's, what's the thing I'm looking for? Eye type? Do any of these have anything fun? None of these are fun. These are just normal. If they're normal options, I don't want to do. What's this do? Like, if I mess with the slider and it makes me laugh, we're doing it. Like, that's like, yeah, but that's fine. What does this one do? This one gonna make me laugh? Okay. I mean, if you guys want to start thinking backstory, go for it. Negative 299 to 299. Eyeball height. Fuck it. Meow, 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 meow. I feel like her backstory is gonna be God abandoned her. Period. Like, that's it. She's been abandoned by Christ. Okay. A normal height eyeballs. Normal height. You're normal. You're normal. Okay. Do that. Alright. Let's see. What? Yeah, because some of these I'm like, these are too specific. We can't, like, do everything. Or else it's just, we're gonna be here all day. You know? Just... Okay, now we got a good one. This is a good one. Okay. Negative 299 to 299. Eye height 2. Or eye size 2. Pick your poison. I see you. Okay, she's having normal eyes. Normal. Normal. Alright. We're gonna do, we'll do one for, well, what are the interesting options for mouth shape? Is there anything interesting here? Let's see. I mean, what was that though? That's nothing too crazy. I'm making a call here. We're gonna go do that. Yeah. Hi, Karma. Welcome in. Oh, it's chibi time. Wait, am I still gonna, wait, let me put my, do I still keep my cat ears on if I'm chibi? Do I still keep my butt plug in if I'm chibi? Let me pull up chibi. 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 It's baby time. Yay. Do I still get my butt plug? I don't know. Can I remove my hat on this model? I actually deadass don't know. Hold on. Can I take her off? Neutral. F2. I have a blush. I don't think I can take my hat off on this model. Let me see. I'm checking. Expression. Yeah, I can't take my hat off on this model, but I guess no more cat ears, no more butt plug. We'll just have to cope with that. Here, since she's so small, I'm just gonna put her right here. Also, her head looks like it's looks like my head is like weighted. The butt plug changed out for a pacifier. I mean, hold on. I think I actually, let me see. I've been silenced. There we go. I'm trying to like have it cover my mouth completely. I've been silenced. The way it moves makes it look so silly. Don't you just say my God damn it. Okay. What were we doing? Yeah, this queen, this beautiful, beautiful beast of a woman. Okay. Let's see. We'll do, what did I want to do? We'll do mouth width. That'll be fun. How'd you even make them? That's not me, Boston. That's chat. Chat did that, okay? And I think they made some really great choices so far. We haven't even started the body yet. I'm so excited. All right, let's do this one. Negative 299 to 299. Mouth width, ready, set, go. 299. Okay. Perfect. What does this one do? Lip height. Okay, does she want to have lips? Oh, the overlay's still up? Which one? Oh, whoopsie. Let me do that. Whoopsies. Bink. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Waspies. I appreciate you. Okay. Let's see. What was I doing? Which was the one I... Oh, God. If you take her through the opening to execution, is not gonna have to aim. Okay, mouth width. Okay, I got distracted. Let's do this one again. Mouth width. Negative 299. Wait, I think I fucked something up. Hold on. I think I was doing lip height. Was I doing lip height? I don't... It was width we just... Yeah, it was width we just did. Okay, lip height. Negative 299 to 299. Ready, set, go. Lip height. Okay. Normal. Normal. Alright. Mouth height 2. The sequel. Negative 299 to 299. Ready, set, go. $2.99. Hell yeah. Okay. Are any of these fun? Making an executive decision for some of these. For the, yeah, some of these it just feels right. You know, it just feels right. Okay, can we give her teeth? Okay, we're not pulling her teeth out. Well, we're not gonna mess with the teeth. I don't want my games to crash. And you know, actually, this is okay. Let's do lips open. 0 to $2.99. Ready, set, go. 0 to $2.99. Ready, set, go. Hi, how are you? Okay, she's normal. Sammy is trying to save. Everyone is trying to ruin this woman's life, and Sammy is just like, please, please leave her alone. Leave her alone. And we'll give her a smile. I think she is gonna be really happy. She looks very happy. All right, hair is gonna be a big one. So our choices are 0 to 1,037. Okay, ready, set, go. What's her hair? 0 to 1,037. Because I am insane. 500. Okay, let's see. What is 500? Okay, I can't see what it is because of her fucking long ass neck. Unfortunately, I saw 500 first. I'm sorry, gamers, but I'm sure we'll find out soon. All right, you know what? I don't think she needs makeup. I think she is beautiful just the way she is. However, there is still much to be improved. Let's go. Let's go height. We're 0.25 to 2. Ready? Oh, can you see her? Oh my god, does she have pubes? Oh, okay. Go. 0 to 2. Pick a number. Not even makeup could save her. 0.5. Well, we can still see her. So that's gonna count for something. Alright, now it's time for head. You heard me. Alright, 0.01 to 3. 0.01 to 3. Ready, set, go. 2. Okay. We can't even like fully see her yet. Alright, now it's, does this one change? Some of these don't work. Let me check. Yeah, these ones don't work. Let me see. I want to see which ones work and which ones don't, because some of them... Thought I had my... Why? Oh, here we go. All right, now it's time. All right, left breast fullness. 0.1 or 5. That one's working. That's too high. That's too high. We can't do 9. That's too high. The tits only go up to 5. 5, okay. All right, what about the right breast? Because remember, right, boobs are sisters, not twins, okay? All right, 0.1 to 5. Okay, another 5, great. Okay, does the sagging work? Okay, the sag works. How much sag do we want? -40 to 40, left titty sag. -40 to 40, ready, set, go. -40 to 40. Of course, all you guys come back out for the boobs. Okay, no sag, no sag. We were really close there with 0 and 40. No sag. There you go, queen. Nice and perky. All right, what about the right one, though? What about the other one? -40 to 40. 0. Okay, you know what? Lag Wolf has saved this woman's titties. Good for her. I give it to... So pretty much the way this is working, if you just came in, by the way, just type out for all of these, there's a number range. So I'm just letting chat pick a number. And the first one I see is the one I get. Do glutes change? I don't think her butt changes. I think these should change though. Let me see. We'll change it. We'll pick her name later. Let me see. We'll let it start the setup at least. Oh no, I think the butt does change. Oh god. Oh. You can't see her arms. You can't. She has no arms. I can't even. She's okay. We're gonna have to free cam this. Hold on. David, where's David? David! Come here! We're just picking a random one. You want to see what we created? We're not even done yet. Come here, are you ready? Are you ready? Come see what me and chat me take off my
Why are you
pacifier. Because I can't put the cat ears on this model, but no more baby time because this is serious. This is very serious character creation. Are you ready?
Oh.
Okay, we made this together as a family, as a community, okay? So you're not gonna be mean to her, okay? What do you think?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
We're not done yet. Do you want to pick one? Do you want to pick one?
Why,
Can Dave pick one?
why is it Big Tit Grandma Gnome?
No, it's she's special. Look at her face. Do you want to pick one, David?
No, I want no part in this.
Oh, okay. You're a bummer. You don't want to play. You're a bummer. All right, I think you know what? More ass. Why not? That's my executive decision. And we're gonna name her. What's her name? What's her name? First one I see. Ready, set, go. What's her fucking name? What's her fucking name? I can't put an emote as the name, unfortunately. Well, I guess I could write Kappa. We're not, okay, you know, we are not disgracing my favorite OC by naming her Vanya. Yeah, we'll go fuck. I'm sorry. I can't allow you to do my woman like that. Do my bestie like that. Her name is fucked. Because that's what she is. Fucked. Alright. Let's save real quick, because it's gonna be really funny if the game, crashes right now. We have to do that all again. Yeah, the backache's gotta be crazy. Is she gonna fit through? Is she gonna fall through the stairs? Oh no. I think she might fall through the stairs. Alright, now we gotta pick her class. Okay. So, let me go through all the classes so you know your options. Don't pick yet. Don't pick yet. You have to hear all the options before you pick, okay? So we got warrior, barbarian. Dylan, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Look at our lady that chat made. Isn't she great? Look at her fucking wait. Does she have look at her ass cheeks. Wait, hold on. Hold on. One of them I just noticed they're not even. They're not even. Oh no! Welcome to the stream. Yeah, guys, the Gatekeep Girl Boss. We're about to pick our class for this beautiful lady. So we have Warrior, Barbarian, Knight, Crusader, Witch Hunter. She's a cute lady. She is cute. She's adorable. Scout, Archer. Let's see. God, the fucking Monk, Bard, Acrobat. Necromancer, Mage, Sorcerer, Battle Mage, Bell Sword, and then I think there's just a few more. Nightblade, oh god, a Stealth Archer with us would be crazy. Healer, Pilgrim, Agent, Assassin, Rogue, or Thief. Okay, ready, set, go. What is Fuck's class gonna be? What is it? I edited her butt. Oh, I did do that. Alright, she's a barbarian. Oh god. She's a fucking barbarian. Is she gonna be able to use the two-handed weapons? I mean, tactics. I laugh in the face of tactics. Okay, let's see. All right, and I'm gonna pick one flaw for her. This is my turn. Okay, my turn. Let's see. I like that one of the flaws is just she's poor. Like, thank you, Skyrim. That's a little too close to home. You know what? Let's call her. Is there any flaw that's funny? Are any of these funny? I want a meme. See, Mercy, and absolutely not. Maybe she. You know what? Actually, she has no flaws. She's perfect. She's perfect the way she is. Okay. You know what? Let's go unlucky. Actually, we'll do that one just for the fun of it. Okay. So if she's a barbarian, that means we're probably gonna want like a two-handed weapon. I think, yeah, let's go two-handed weapon and heavy armor. I think that would be okay. She has one flaw. That's it. Just one. Just one. She looks lucky to me. Yeah, she's been blessed, bro. My BGM has been going this whole time. Oh my god. At least there wasn't really background music playing in the game, so it could have been worse, but oh my god. Why didn't you guys tell me? No, not the BGM. Not the BGM. Oh god, I just alt-tabbed and I see all the profile picture options in the Discord. These are... Love you guys. I love you. I love this community. I love this community so much. I forgot that wasn't just part of the game music. You know what? If you think something I composed would fit in Skyrim, I take that as a compliment. All right, sorted.
All right, we've all seen enough. Put on some clothes.
Oh my god. The way he's looking down at her with such disappointment. What's wrong with... You know, there is something we can do. There is something we can do.
What now?
Oh no, it's not in this NPC.
All right then.
There's one thing we have to do before we end this stream, and if you've watched my stream for 3 minutes, you probably know what it is. Let's give her, you know what? Let's give her plate armor. There we go. All right, how's this gonna look on her? Is this gonna work? Oh. No, I want to see your face. Hi, Mike. Welcome in. How does she remain standing? Well, fear not. The her boobs may be massive, but her fat ass keeps her centered in gravity. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else we need to get? Let's get some potions. Let's see. Oh god, I can't fucking reach the potions. God damn it. Let's see. There we go. That'll be good. We still need a weapon. Let me grab a weapon. She's gonna be a barbarian, so she needs a two-handed weapon. Steel battle axe. Let's go with that one. What's she gonna look like? Oh, let's fucking go. Look at her go. Look at her. Yay. Her name is Fucked, by the way, for anyone who just came in. Also, for anyone who just came in, welcome to the stream. We are doing a donathon currently. Or really a streamathon, because it was going to be a donathon, and then I got mono, and my doctor doesn't want me streaming for 12 hours, but we still wanted to do it. And every $100, we spin the punishment wheel. And the first time, it made me Riz chat for 5 minutes, and then the second time, it made me a cat girl. But there is some interesting options on there. But welcome in, everybody. Okay, let me see. Where do we want to go? Let's do that. That's gonna be last chat decision, and then I'll let you guys make more decisions. But for now, where is she going? Name a city that's like, or a hold, or like, name a location in Skyrim. First one I see goes. Ready, set, go. First one I see goes. Helgen. Oh no. Wait, can we do the default start with her? Oh my god. Wait. Let me see. Can we do the default start with her? Close yourself. You may want to speak to Shazar. Leave this plane. I think if we pick one of these stones, we can do the OG start. Red wave below deck. Is it over here? I'm not sure. I'll have to double check, but let me see. Shore stone. Markarth. The fuck is Helgen? Let's see. Helgen. Let me see. It should say on here. Oh, I hate when the realistic I hate when the realistic lighting's realistic. I can't fucking see anything. It's not an option? Ah, oh, damn. Okay, I'll pick the second one. Morthal. Alright, it says mortal, but I'm assuming you meant Morthal. Unfortunately, we can't do Helgen. That sucks, but that's okay. Well, we'll put her somewhere else. She'll be fine. Why'd your head get so big? I've been chibi-fied. We had to redeem to make me chibi. And now we have our new character that chat has created. She looks so beautiful. And her name is Fucked. And she's fantastic. You can go to Helgen. It won't be the standard start. Oh, okay, then we'll do that. Let me see. Where is...
Yes?
Where is Helgen? Where is Helgen? Because it's close to Whiterun, right? So let's go in that direction. Here we go. Whiterun. Where's Whiterun? Whiterun. Yeah, so it should be around here somewhere. Let's see. Fort Dawnguard. Let's see. Hey, girl. Fort Hagstad. Or Stone. Yeah, it should be somewhere around here, right? Not any of these? Helgen's not listed as a start. Damn, that's crazy. Alright, alright, we'll go to Markarth then. I'm sorry. We can go to Helgen though. That can be Tell you what, we'll start in Markarth or in Morthal, and then we'll go to Helgen. That'll be the first one we'll do. Let's do that. Okay? Everyone's happy. Compromise, okay? Now, where the fuck is the road sign? I lost it again. I'm too small. I can't see anything. Okay. Morthal. Yeah, Morthal. Da-da-da-da. Is this one Morthal? That's Rift in jail. I don't want to go to jail. I'm a good noodle. I'm a good girl.
Yes?
Can I get up here without... I'd like to save one more time. Can I get up here without falling through the fucking... Okay, there she goes. Okay, let's go, fuck. Let's go. Look, she's doing it. She's doing it. She is a Breton. So, you know, it's nothing too crazy. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, oh yeah, she's cruising. She is taking those fucking wood horrors like nobody's business. Alright, Riften Forest. This is all Riften. Where the fuck's Morthal? Maybe it's over here. Oh, okay, that could have been bad. That could have been fucking bad. Alright, let's go. Oh, can she make a jump? Okay, let's see. There we go. Morthal. Let's go! Alright, we're gonna go here. And then we're going to Helgen. And you know what? That's what we'll do. We'll start with the main quest. Why not? Why not? Fuck it. Why not? You know? We're doing it. We're doing it. My mom just texted me. What's my mom saying? She said she had fun today. Me and my mom went shopping today. She said she had fun. Let me see. I did too. Thanks for lunch and good conversation. Oh! I forgot we got to do this. Chat, you have more decisions to make. She has a backstory. She has a backstory. We'll do intended experience. Okay, we'll do intended experience. Now she's naked again. Look at that fucking thing on her. Alright, let's see. Let's see. Ugh. It's time to decide my fate. Let's see. What is the fate of fucked? What's the plan? Hello? Odd? There we go. Let's see. Intelligence affects career skills or intelligence affects XP rate. Let's do career skills. This one I am gonna pick just so we don't progress super slow. Stats are balanced, stats are min-max. I'll let you guys choose this one. Are we balanced or are we min-maxing with fucked? What are we doing? Balanced or min-max? Go! Oh boy. This one's gonna be... Oh boy. Oh no. Alright, we're min-maxing. And we'll do linear skill increase. Maximum fuckage. Alright. What is her birth sign going to be? I will read them all out loud to you for my friends that are watching stream in the background. The apprentice, the atronach, the lady, the lord, the lover, the mage, the ritual, the serpent, the shadow, the steed, the thief, the tower, the warrior. What is her standing stone? Pick. It's on you. Her fate is in her hands. She doesn't have a venereal debuff. The lover. Ooh, okay. Alright. Okay. We're gonna do these by category. Is she going to have above average appearance, below average appearance, or, yeah, above average, average, or below average for appearance? Go. Oh boy. Okay. Above. You know what? Yeah, she is above average. She's hot as fuck, okay? Alright, endurance. Endurance. Is she above average, average, or below average in endurance? Max, obviously. What we got? Above average, average, or below average? What's her endurance? She fuck all night. She really do. Alright. I'm waiting. Above. Okay. Fortitude. Average, below average. Yeah, there's only average or below average for fortitude. Alright, fortitude. Average or below average? Ready, set, go. We're gonna do the thing. We're gonna do the thing, I promise. Because we did this before with Jasper when we fucked with him, with his show race menu sliders. We need to do it with her too. Like, we have to, bro. We have to. Below? Alright. It won't let me do below average height, so that's just our option. Alright, intelligence. Above or below average? Above or, okay, below. Below average intelligence. Perfect. And Magicka, above or below average? Above or below average Magicka? What we got? What we got? I'll behave. It's time to check out the new model. So what's gonna be happening is new model will be debuting on Wednesday. But my original plan was to stream every day leading up to my debut, so that way, even though we can't do like a donathon like I originally wanted, we could still do like a streamathon, because I don't usually stream that much. So the new model will be coming out on Wednesday. That'll be when my debut is, and I believe the link, if you type streamathon, it should give you a link that shows the schedule for the streamathon as well. It's gonna be slightly altered, just because yesterday everything was fucked. But yeah, no, you haven't missed the debut yet. I'm really excited. We have like, the lore video is like 11 minutes long, and I edited all of it, and I wrote all of the music for it, and I did all of the mixing and all of the, it was a lot. But yes, if you're worried about missing my new Skyrim themed model debut, it has not happened yet. It'll be happening on Wednesday. Oh, Progressor, thank you for the hydrate. Oh fuck, I never got water. I was so excited to stream, I forgot to get water. God damn it. Thank you, Procrastinator, for the hydrate. Can I have a glass of water? Oh, okay. Alright, you know, chap, I have to go get water, or else I'm gonna fucking die. But be good. I'll be gone for like 2 seconds. Don't.
Get yourself.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back. Don't do anything stupid. Good. Riot! No! Don't do that! That's bad! You can't do that! You can't do— no! No! I live in a 2-bedroom apartment! I said I wasn't going to be gone long. It went fast! Alright, we're gonna do average. You invested in Bitcoin? No! Don't do that! No! Alright, keep writing. Okay. Let me drink some water. I have to calm down because I've been like screaming because I'm just so excited to be streaming again. I need to calm down. Okay. Is she middle class, upper class, socially invisible, or working class? Ready, set, go. And I'm actually going to alt tab so chat can see these a little bit better because the chat's covering it up right now. See? There we go. We're going to put these right here. Working class. 7 a.m. getting up in the morning. Okay. Were her parents farmers or miners? Were they farmers or miners? That's the only 2 jobs, I guess. That's it. Farmers or miners. I don't know how this affects things, gonna be real. Okay. Was she an only child, siblings, or was she the runt of the litter? I feel like there's an obvious choice here, but it's your guys' call. It's up to you. Run. Yeah, that's what I'd pick too. Okay, what games did she play as a child? Sword fighting? Why is being bullied a game? Her parents are not minors, I hope. Oh god. I mean, I feel like if she was a product of inbreeding, it wouldn't like surprise me. You know, like, can I say that? Is that offensive? I'm sorry. If it's offensive, I'm sorry. But it just, the thought just, I'm so, anyway. Why is being bullied a game? Okay, games. Sword fighting, being bullied, building models, bullying, dressing up, hide and seek, playing house, playing pretend, playing with fire, pranking, sewing, or stickball. Alright, what should she do for fun as a kid? Okay, this is probably going to determine her morality. Ready, set, go. Bullying. Okay. Okay, what would you do? I need you to be so for real with me right now. What would you do? Okay, there's 2 here, so we'll do bullying and sword playing. Okay. And we get another one, so I'll do the next one too. Oh dear, I'm sure she plays with sticks. Okay, and then stickball. Alright, now we get to choose her patient god. If there's multiples, I'm just gonna do them in order. She bullies for real. I don't know how I'd react if she bullied me. Like, I want you to think about that. If she walked up to you, if Miss Fucked walked up to you and called you a slur, how would you react? Because I feel like I'd like be so shocked. It's like Pokemon. Like, I'd hurt myself in confusion. Like, hello? Okay. Patron god. Akatosh, Arcade, Debella, Julie. If you guys say Debella, you're sick fucks, by the way. Julianos, Kitterith, Mara, Nun, Stendar, Talos, Zenithar, or random. I'd be stun locked, fold immediately. And you know, I can't even call you guys degenerates because last night if you were in the stream last night in Discord, we had a Discord stream last night because I still really wanted to see you guys, but everything was shit and I was really sad. And I loaded up Skyrim and we were all sitting in the EEBEEGAMES Discord, and I immediately realized that we were on Discord and not Twitch, and I was not bound by Twitch's, oh fuck, did I accidentally, there we go. I was not bound by Twitch's rules. So, I immediately had my character start jacking off, and we all sat there together as a community and watched my character jack off, and then we all clapped when he finished. It was really a beautiful moment. It was very touching. I feel a lot closer to you guys now than before, you know? I'm very proud of this community. Make sure you like and subscribe. This is Discord EB. Alright, what are our chores? There's 3 of these, so I'll pick the first 3. Babysitting, cleaning, firewood, food preparation, hunting, laundry, prayer, repairs, or the market. Okay, this makes sense. Okay, if you've taken psychology, you know this makes sense. We're working out her inner mind. Okay, firewood. Let's see, where's firewood? Firewood, hunting. We need one more. One more. How could I miss unfiltered EB? Yeah, if you were, it was really fun. I hope to do more Discord streams too. I wanted to do them more, but then I just got really busy. But it was very fun. One follow, one green buy. No. You don't sexualize me. We sexualize my characters. That's how I make it work. It's a well-oiled machine I got running here. Besides, you don't want to sexualize me. I'm disgusting. All right. Anyway, although there is porn of me out there, if you look hard enough on Twitter, you can find it. What are her interests? What were her formative years? Acquisition, brawling, cooking, fashion, girls or boys, reading, sculpting, the forbidden, or the outdoors. That's what I was doing. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. If you want, that was the only smuggy vote I had. Lube, yeah, okay, you know, maybe well-oiled machine wasn't the one I'm looking for. I've got a system going, okay? I've got a system. Okay, she's interested in the forbidden. What else? And girls and boys. All right, one more. Oh, God. And reading. Great. She's literate. Oh. Talent. Girls/boys. Reading. The forbidden. Okay, what's her talent? I don't know what talent girls/boys means. Has she mastered the arts of gender? Good for her. The freedom to be cursed is what I like. Honestly, yeah, I feel like it wasn't even that especially heinous, low-key. I feel like it was just me making jokes and then having my character's dick out, which was kind of funny, not gonna lie. All right, is she gonna experience disaster or is she gonna have good fortune? What's going on? What's going on? Good. Okay, you know what? Good for her. All right, we'll do. Do we want to keep writing to adulthood, or do we want to play coming of age? Is this a coming of age story, or is this adulthood? What are we doing? Does the writing continue, or do we stop here? Pick your poison. Let's see if we continue or not. Oh god, you probably want her to be an adult. Yeah. With what I want to do to her, we're gonna make her her name is fucked, so we probably should make her an adult, so people don't think I'm a freak. Okay, close and reopen the backstory menu. Wait for script to run. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of careers here. Oh shit. There's a lot of these. How many options are there? Because I feel like this is, you know what we're gonna do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You know what? Jesus Christ, there's a lot of them. Pick a number between 1 and 20. We're gonna do that. Pick a number between 1 and 20. Because that's all we got. Yeah, when I did Vanya's, I made her the Blood Mage, I think is what I did for her. Alright, 17. Alright, let's see what her career is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Custom. Okay, we're going through a lot of these. Alright. Let's see. Pick a number between 1 and 20. One more. I think there's 20 of these here. It's going to be really awkward if there's not. I'm kind of just guesstimating. Not going to lie. 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Do I pick another one? Oh, because it's custom, I pick a bunch of them. Okay. Let's do 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and then let's do, we still have a few more. We'll do two-handed because we did give her a two-handed weapon. I'm just going to pick the rest of them, I think. We're going to just do, I'm I'm gonna just close my eyes and hold it down and then just pick enter. Is there another one? Okay, I'm just keeping my eyes closed. Speech, we can do that one. Yeah. She knows how to yap. Alright, we have 2 more. If you would like any other skills, speak now or forever hold your peace. We got 2 more. Okay, speak now or hold your tits. I'm sorry. Make a choice. You guys, do we do another one in speech? Okay, we can do another one in speech. Yeah, we can do that. Alright, one more. One more. Sneak. Okay, you got it. Alright. Gear, we're gonna give her... we can pick 5 gear. So, do we want her... Let's stick with what we had before for ease. So, heavy armor and, 2-handed weapon. And let's give her... I'm gonna pick these just to make it easy. Let's give me a bow, lockpicks, potions. There we go. Here's now we get another fun one. What is her vice? Adultery, crime, gambling, sadism, substance abuse, or unprofessionalism? I feel like one of these is not like the other. Like, I don't think being unprofessional is the same as doing heroin. But that's just me. Alright. Disaster strikes or good fortune? Is she still having a good life, or if you pick adultery, she gets an STD? Perfect. We'll have to see what STD we'll have to see what STD she gets. Okay, good fortune still. Good fortune. Alright, we're gonna play at adulthood. We're gonna stop here for now. What is her desire? What is her desire? Adventure, fame, immortality, knowledge, lost secrets, love, power, revenge, victory, or wealth? What is her desire? What does she want out of life? What does she want? What is the plan? Wealth. Okay. I think there's a few of these, so I'll pick a few. Wealth, love. Alright, 2 more. Knowledge. A well-made bra. Well, unfortunately, that's not an answer. Best I can do is immortality. Alright, fame. Perfect. Alright, we have completed our backstory. Dun, dun, dun. And you can see, like, the little... I really like this one, because you see these little, like, things here of, like, what you picked based on, like, the options of, like, shit that happened in your childhood and whatnot. So that's cool. Alright, I think I just go back here and I let it load. She's fine. She's gotta have, like, some endurance, you know? I should have read the thing a little bit faster that says how the fuck you get out of here. Okay. Can I go now? Run to the back wall and use key it. Oh, okay. Let me see. I wasn't sure. It was like pushing me back. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, let's see. We got a battle axe. We got iron armor. Okay, so it downgraded us. Can I? Is this allowed? Cause it's not. Like, it could be pimples for all we know. Is this allowed? You know, if she's in Ontario, it's fine. Well, this
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver.
Hey.
Your hands only.
Exit to load it, go to the dark
Let's
place
see.
in the
Looks
end.
like
Oh,
that's
okay,
it.
got it. That was
Got
for
to
the
go.
other thing. Alright, that's our other quest stuff. Well, I think it's fine. I mean, we'll just play in first person and not turn around. I think that'll be good. Cool. Alright. Let's see. What's she look like with the helmet, though? Just to know. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Well.
I cannot best you.
What? Bro, it's a mud crab. Run away. Okay. Alright, well, we did say the first thing we were gonna do is go to Helgen. So let's see. Where the fuck is Helgen? Master has given Dobby tits. Let's head to Helgen and see what happens. I also need to save when I get to Helgen. Let me get to Helgen and then I'll save because I'm kind of afraid it's gonna crash. Oh no! 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 Oh my god! What happened? What happened? Dobby's a queen. Oh my god! What happened? This is so crazy! Wow! Wow! would he do that? Wow. I don't think we can get Helgen Reborn started quite yet, low-key. I think I might have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Let me see the Helgen Reborn start guide. I haven't done Helgen Reborn in fucking forever. When you're ready to read the quest, to begin the quest, simply read the Helgen Reborn guide that was just added. It would be a good idea to pay attention to the suggestions offered in the book. Okay, well, let me look at the book. I don't have the Helgen Reborn guide, so I guess we're just gonna Fortnite dance around Helgen for a little bit. I just don't have the book in my inventory, so that's cool. That's fine. It's cute. It's cool. Well, we did it. We made it to Helgen. Bandits need to spawn. Okay. Well, I guess we can't do anything in Helgen right now, but I guess, do we want to just start the main quest? Like, I feel like half the fun of this is just watching her struggle to be a person. So, you know what? Let's just go to Riverwood. You know, all my homies love Riverwood. Where the fuck is Riverwood? Guess we'll just go in this direction until we find it. Although there is the thing I want to do. You know, the thing. The thing. Alright, where's my tracking mark? Sophia, yeah, so this probably, yeah, it's where the Sophia tracking mark. But yeah. Well, I'll leave here, and then we'll start Helgen Reborn a little bit later. So let's see. Alright. Oh, look at her run. Yes, queen. The good thing is I think I can, like, jump faster now. Oh, that's my journal there. Okay. Whee! Yeah, look at that height, bro. She gets height, okay? She is... Whee! She's got mad hops. Okay, so this is gonna be... We're gonna travel at the speed of sound, essentially. Okay, we're gonna noom. Okay, let's see. You lay your stuff when you pick the intended start in the backstory. Oh, well... No, Helgen Reborn then. That's fine. We'll just, you know, we'll do the other things. It'll be fine. Alright, hopefully there's no baddies that are gonna come fuck me up, because that would be incredibly disappointing. I am kind of eager to see what the kill animations look like with her, not gonna lie. Can I throw myself off a cliff real quick for the meme? I kind of want to see what happens when she dies. Is that like a fucked up thing to say? Like, I just want to know, you know? I don't just be free. God bless. That was, yeah, that did everything I wanted it to. That was exactly what I wanted it to. Where did it spawn me back in? I'm kind of curious. Do I still have all my armor? Let me see. Still have everything? Okay, I still have everything important, and that's what matters. Okay, that's what that's what matters. Airbags deployed. Okay, I was not defeated. I fucking fell to my death. You and Lynn should never design a character together. Listen, this wasn't me. This was not me. This was all chat. Okay, this was all chat. I didn't do anything. Okay, I'm just here. I'm just here. Also, I am gonna reload the save just because I don't want to walk that far. God, I can't believe her name is fucked. Oh my god. I didn't want to throw her off. I wanted to see the death animation. I'm gonna be so fucking for real. I wanted to see her die. Which I know is like a fucked up thing to say, but it's just, it was really funny, okay? It was really funny. It was so funny. Okay, there you go, queen. Parkour, you got this. Oh yeah, you are making these rocks your bitch. Let's go. Perfect. What an absolute unit of a woman. Alright. Let's see. And another one. Alright, we're back on the road, so it should be pretty easy to get to Riverwood from here. I don't know why Riverwood's not marked on my map, low-key. I thought it was, but I think it's because of the alternate start is the reason it's not. I also kind of want to see what happens when she goes fishing, because I do have fishing, and I don't think I've ever actually done fishing. Can she hold can you fish in third person? Come on, fuck. Let's go fishing. Let's go fishing. Fuck the main quest. This is a fishing stream now. This is a Skyrim fishing stream now. Wait, yeah, like there's so many animations I just want to see. Like, can she cut some firewood? She's got some botched plastic surgery. Real. Yeah, let's let's do some crafting. Let's get in the forge. Yeah, you work that forge, girl. You're doing a great job. Let's tan some leather. Oh, I don't. Oh, she can't reach. She can't reach it. She has one tit. The unitit. The uniboob. Wee. Okay. What's going on next? The workbench. Oh, she's too small. Can you grind? Can you grind? Oh. Well, she is grinding. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. What's that? What? Wait, hold on. Why does this chicken look like that? Like, come, hold on. Like, I did a lot. We did some fucked up stuff in character creation, but what happened to the chicken? Go to the inn? Oh, you're right. Yeah, why are the... Did I fuck with my chicken retextures? I think I did. Alright, let's go to the tavern. There's a few things I think I can do at the inn that I want to accomplish. One is gonna be sit in the chair, and two, I want to get fucked some fuck. And I want to see what that looks like, I'm not gonna lie. Hi, Jacob! Welcome back. We are so back. Chat, we have made a lot of our donathon goals. We are working towards the next one.
Hard not to.
But now we reached the goal of chat creating a character for me in Skyrim. Let me introduce you to...
I guess you don't
Fuck.
have potatoes in your ears after all.
Isn't she pretty? Isn't she gorgeous?
Just make sure
Oh
you
yeah.
get a fresh
I mean, I
batch
can
of
always
food.
censor it with my face, you know.
Dragonborn.
There you go, take a sip.
Does whatever a dragon
Oh
can.
god!
Look alive, will you?
Her moves are stuck under the chair! No!
You want a drink?
Oh, hey. I heard a rumor you might offer others. Wait, what the fuck?
All right then.
Wait, I forgot. Bjorn, you long sword. I've been looking for you for years. Bjorn Longsword, my best friend. Oh my god. Wait, hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Hold on. I'm going to do this. I don't, you can't stop me. I'll censor it with my face. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. No one can stop me. Also, why am I cut off? Why is it cucking me? Here, make me. I'm doing this. I'm sorry. If I can censor it, I will and show you. But if I cannot, then that's okay. Okay, Bjorn. Oh wait, I think I cast it on the pole. I'm too short. Hold on. Hey Bjorn, what's up? You want some gnome pussy?
Need something?
You want some gnome pussy?
Thank you. I'll be sure to put it to good use.
He just gave me cabbage soup. You know, that's not what I meant when I
Hello,
said
friend.
seduction. I would also like to point out, you know, okay, because apparently that's not gonna work. But I would like to point out, oh no, I can't see OBS. Hold on. Let me alt tab one more time. Oh shit. Okay. There we go. So, I would like to look at how he stares at me with disappointment.
The Imperials.
Oh my god.
Bring to our youth today's come and gone.
Hey.
For the age of aggression is
Right.
Okay.
See
Will anyone
you
have
around.
sex with me?
Apologies.
We'll
Will you have sex with me?
storm close.
Oh, that's fucking recorder. Oh, I hate this bitch. No,
Sure.
not you.
See you soon.
Literally anyone but you. Hold on. What about you?
Something?
Wait, hold on.
All right.
Can we wait a second.
Down
Forget about Bjorn.
on the day
What the fuck is
death
going on with
will
this man?
break and we'll children of Skyrim and we
Damn,
fight all
that.
our
Let me
lives.
fuck that pussy up.
Out of my way,
Wait,
stranger.
can I?
Yeah.
Can I have your pussy?
Ain't every day you
Yes?
get visitors in Riverwood.
have a drink on me.
Got any ale or mead?
Sure.
Until next time. Good to
She
see you.
appears if you say that. Oh no. Won't let me sex them. Okay, let me find a prostitute. Hold on. Hi.
What can I do for you?
I was looking for a man, ideally, but this'll do. I heard a rumor you might offer other services.
For that price? Sure.
Oh boy. I'm just gonna let you look at the options while I alt tab. I'm doing this. I said I was gonna do it, and I'm doing it. Okay, you can't stop me. Okay, I've made my choice. And if you know Twitch decides to cuck me, then so be it. But if this is the hill I'm dying on. This is the hill I'm dying on. Let's do. What? There's some of these where I'm like, how's this gonna look? I feel it. Okay, we'll do this one.
Certainly.
Also,
Let me
Burke's
teach you a thing or
NPC
two
is
about
looking at me
making love.
disapprovingly, and that feels really accurate to real life, actually. Oh my god. Okay. I think I can show this purely because it's not going the way it's supposed to. If it does, I'll just pause the game, but, Is that how sex works?
Hi. Yes.
I don't think
Would you
that's how
have any
sex
bottled
works.
Water by
Is
any
that?
chance?
Is that?
Oh, and 10 sweet rolls
I-
with that, please.
Oh god! Wait, look at her fucking. Look at her head! Look at her fucking head! It's like they've morphed into one being! This is like the human centipede part 7! Holy shit! Burke, don't look away! Don't look away! Look at it! Look at it! Oh, now she's like moaning. Oh, now it's weird. Now you have to start making noise. Now it's weird. Okay. How do I end sex scenes? I forgot. What's the button code? Oh god, I don't remember. Listen, we do have the donathon going on. Donos do count to the donathon. If you enjoy, whatever the fuck this is. Devin, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate you. You now have a PlayStation 2. Congratulations. Oh, now you all forget what the end sex scene code.
Good to see you again.
Burke! Burke! Yes, Burke, it is good to see you again. Thank you. Thank you. Is this a bad time? No, this is a great time. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Can I help you?
This is a fantastic time. I don't know what you're talking about. Can someone please clip that? I need to send that to
Can
him.
I help you?
No, I'm great. I'm great.
Perhaps you wouldn't mind if I could. You came for me. Thank you.
I sure did. I sure. Oh wait, are her boobs out now?
Can I
No, they're
help
the
you?
same way they were. They're the same way they were. Yeah. Miss Fucked. Yeah. If you just joined stream, Tacos, thank you so much for the prime sub. I appreciate you. You now also have a PlayStation. If you let's take off the helmet just so we can get a good look. Oh my god. Oh my god. There she is. Isn't she pretty? Isn't she fantastic? Look at this mood lighting. Look at Burke looking at me. He looks so disappointed, as usual. Alright, let me... Alright, well, now that I did that, I don't know what to do now. Are her tits out? Well, they weren't supposed to be. They just are. Hey, man.
Whatever you need.
I'll never get over how they look down to talk
I
to
can
me.
forge it.
Gaslight
You know,
geeky
Timmy, thank you so
girl
much for the
boss.
follow. You know, I guess I gave you girl boss. Welcome to the stream. I hope it doesn't get too. I don't even know how to describe what's going on. What is going on? What is going on? Okay, we need to wait. I'm Delphi. Hi.
You're that visitor been poking around.
I haven't been poking around, but I did have sex on the floor. If that's what you're referring to. Can I have a room?
Sure thing. It's yours for a day.
Perfect. Okay. Let's go to our room, and then we'll wake up in the morning, and then we'll do something. It's nighttime right now, so. Oh god, I can't fucking orient myself. I don't know where the fuck my. Isn't it supposed to be in here? Oh okay, I guess she has to like show it to me first. Is that it? Can I sleep here? Can I sleep here? Can I sleep here? I thought this was my room. This is not my room.
Time for dinner yet?
We drink to our youth
Oh,
Today's come and
I guess I
gone.
can't sleep there.
For the
Goddamn.
age
Glad
Okay.
you're here.
Can I see
Can I
someone
help
else?
you?
Glad you're
give you-
here.
You know, Bjorn, I'm glad I'm here too. Oh wait, maybe it's downstairs. Hold on.
Storm cloaks
Let me
and
see. Is
restore
my room
what we
downstairs?
own. With our
I always
blood
forget there's a
and our
downstairs
steel
now.
we will take.
There we go. A double bed. Just for me. Perfect. Alright, it's 11 p.m. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, this is your first stream. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. This is, I want to say this, we don't do this every time, but bless you, David. But this is kind of, I mean, yeah, this is kind of what we do every time. I can't really lie, actually. Yeah. Girl only needs a quarter of a bed. I feel like she could sleep in a shoebox if she tried hard enough. Let's see. 242, 342. We have a saying. We do have a saying around here. Is it ever a good time to enter an EB Games stream? No. Oh wait, I'm accidentally sleeping for multiple days. Hold on. Oh shit. I fucked that up. I fucked that up. Can I sleep for just one day? Just one? Just one day. One day. I accidentally slept for 6 days. Girl got her pussy ate, then slept for 6 days. That head must have been crazy. You ever get head so good it goes into a coma? Like, damn.
I say it builds character. Plus, everyone's always applauding.
Not sure I walked in on, but I'm having fun. And you know, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. That's all I can do. She's well rested. Okay.
You need something.
Yeah, I do. Let me see.
I don't owe you money, do I?
Well, you're gonna. Okay. Let's head out and then let's decide. You know, goodbye,
Hey
Bjorn
there.
Longsword. Hey! That's my buddy, Bjorn Longsword. Let's head out and then we'll see what we want to do. So we were thinking
May
about
the
doing the
gods
main
watch over
quest.
your
So I think we'll, can she ride a horse? I mean, I don't want to steal a horse, but can I get away with it? No, there's too many people around here. Well, I could get... Well, there is something we can do. Because we only did it with a lady. But if we do it with a horse... No, that's not what I meant! That's not what I meant! If we steal the horse, we can do it with a guy. And it'd be funny. I did not... I'm leaving. Never mind. Never mind! It's fine. It's fine. Never mind. Never mind. I'm never actually going to speak ever again. There's a silent stream now. That's not... It's not what I meant. God damn it. It's fine. It's fine. I'm no... It's not what I meant. I meant if we stole the horse, we'd get arrested, and we could offer a pleasant alternative to being arrested. That's not... God damn it. Yep. You know what? Let's just enjoy the scenery, shall we? You don't get the pleasure of looking at her backside anymore. Oh my god! Holy shit. Okay. Oh wait, fuck. Where's my weapon? Okay. Combat time. Alright, you got this, girl. You got this. Alright, ready? Yeah! Get his ass. Oh my god, look at the wolf compared to her. Damn, okay. Is David judging you now? I don't know if David heard me, and we're gonna hope that he didn't.
I never stopped judging.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. No, I am not a horse fucker. We're not doing that. No. Don't listen to David. May I ask how long you've been modding Skyrim for? God, I think since 2015. And I'm gonna be honest, it's been almost, oh my god, I've been doing this for almost 10 years. Holy shit. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've gotten not better at it at all. In fact, I actually think I may have gotten worse at it. I have broken my game pretty consistently. I do not follow good modding practice. When people ask me for modding advice, I direct them to other sources. And I still don't know how body slide works. I'm gonna be, well, actually, no, I do kind of know how body slide works. But, yeah. So, if you are interested, I don't have it in the title, but usually I do. If you type !modlist, it should give you a link to the collection I use. I used to make my own mod list, but then I stopped having time. And with all the, like, mod apocalypse we've had, it's just easier to use a collection. So I use the Immersive and Epic collection with my own little additions here and there. But that's what I use. Wait, cat store. Wait, hold on. What do you mean cat store? Wait, hold on. Let me go back. I just started playing a month and a half ago. Ah, that's awesome. Yeah, Skyrim is definitely, like, I meme the shit out of it, don't get me wrong, but it is definitely a comfort game for me. It makes me really happy. But yeah, so let's see. Melvin's cat store. Hello, Melvin. Oh my god. Hi. Hi. Oh my god. Petting your cat is an important ritual and one that should be performed often in an effort to keep your cat content. Unhappy cats have a tendency to run away. Aww. Ah, kitty. Kitty. Yay. This is so cute. Let me pet the other one too. Hi. Wow.
With a voice.
Wow. You're so cute. Am I tall enough to get to the counter?
Believe the dragonbone needs a cat.
Pet is a persuasion action. That is accurate, actually. You're right. All right, hi.
Hello.
Hello, Melvin. I noticed the store on the way by.
Welcome, my friend, to Melvin's
I love his
cat
voice.
shop.
Holy
I am
shit.
the finest purveyor of feline flesh in all of Skyrim. However,
I was
if
drinking
your
water.
buying
Why the fuck did you
requirements
say it
include
like that?
Anything like cuts, scratches, fleas, or the mange, you may want to go
Wait,
to
what?
Riften and
Why
visit my
did
cousin,
you say it like
Jean.
that? Why do you start a cat store?
People like cute fuzzy things, and I like gold.
Fair enough.
The math seems to add up rather nicely.
Let's see. Is there anything? Why not set up inside the city?
It was the cheapest plot of land I could find. Besides, the taxes inside the city are ridiculous.
Shut up, tacos. I mean, you know what? Understandable. Fuck taxes. Do you sell anything other than cats?
I have a dog allergy, rabbits are too fast to capture, and I don't much like the idea of trying to attach armor to a mud crab. So no, just cats.
Fair enough. Alrighty.
Don't be a stranger.
You got it. You can kind of treats. Oh, this is so cute. Oh my god. And a collar. I can't see all the stuff because I'm too small, but wait, we can armor them? Wait, where's the cat armor? Hold on. Where's the cat armor? Is there cat armor? Oh, there's more cats. Wait, why are you guys all still? Oh, there you go. Hi. Can I pet all the cats? I'm sorry. I know we've been mostly dicking around this stream, but like, let me have this. Let me pet all the cats. Let me have this. This is important to me. Yay. None of these are petable. Wait, why are you upset? Oh, this cat looks like Jetmir. Wait, it's Jetmir. Jetmir. Oh my god, it's Jetmir in Skyrim. He looks like my kitty. Okay, I have to take care of the little ones at bedtime. Oh, well, thank you for hanging out, Tacos. I appreciate you. Thank you, Gamer. I hope everything goes well. Is there an armor? Cat armor? Let me see. Can I get that specific cat?
Hello.
Yeah. Can I? How much is a cat?
Take a look for yourself. You
See,
won't
that's like
find
cat
anything.
Supplies. How do I buy a cat?
If you can stomach the stench, go ahead and buy a cat from my cousin Jean in
Blue-
Riften.
Pseudo cat.
Come back anytime.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jetmir. Jetmir. Jimmy! David! David, come look! David! They put Jetmir in Skyrim!
Jetmir in Skyrim is a cat system.
No, it's Jetmir in Skyrim, look! Oh my god. Here. Hi. Oh my god, this is the best day of my life! Okay, let's be responsible pet owners and let's buy him some
Yes?
stuff. Okay.
Clearly, your cat is famished.
I'm working on it.
Perhaps you'd like to buy some food?
Yeah, okay.
Perhaps a nice bowl.
Shut up. Why are you gonna be... I like the cat, but you're a fucking dick, actually. Let's give him a little green collar. It'll match his eyes. And then cat milk. Yeah, give me just all of this. Let's see. That increased my riz. God bless. Yarn ball. Sure. And then a bed, pink. Yeah, that looks good. And a bed and a bowl. I don't know where I put these things, but let's see.
Goodbye.
How do I feed him? There you go. Do I just add it to his inventory? Is that how I feed? Let me see. There's a lore-based subspecies of normal cat. Yeah, there are the normal-sized Khajiit cats. Okay, do I just put the food in his inventory? Is that how that works? Apparently, I can also eat the cat food. So there's that. Okay, cat food. Cat milk. And treats. There you go. So he should be good. Oh, and he can carry 50 pounds apparently. Good for him. Hey, come with me. Does he follow me automatically? Wait, no, don't remain here. Alright, follow. There's a limit on how many cats you can have follow you at any time. Okay, so I can hypothetically have an army of cats to a certain degree. Right, come here. Wait, can we do a height comparison real quick, actually? Oh, that audio file is... Okay, well, we're gonna... That's my cutest skidoo. Let's go. Oh my god. Alright, is he coming? Jimmy, are you coming? Oh, no, buddy. Come on, just turn around. Turn around. There you go. Oh, he's just as stupid as in real life. It's perfect. Okay. 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 Alright. Okay. Perfect. Alright. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, you ready, Jemmy? Alright, let's go save the world. Let's go save the world. Okay, is he coming? Jemmy? Jemmy? Why aren't you coming? Are you coming? Wow. Oh, Ryan, thank you so much for the 21 months. Gamer, you have 21 PlayStation 2s. Thank you. Evie looks taller than usual. We have been chibi-fied. We got the chibi redeemed. And hi, Taitokofu. Thank you, dude. Thank you, gamers. Thank you for all the love. I am so glad to be back. I miss streaming so much, like, for real, for real. I'm so happy to be streaming again. And now I have a cat, and it's just like my real cat. And I don't know why he's not following. But thank you for the resub, gamer. I appreciate you. Okay. I don't know why he's not coming. Is he just eepy? Jetmir! We have to go to Whiterun, Jetmir. Come on! Jetmir? No, why isn't he coming? Jetmir! There you go. Take a stretch. No, let's go. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, perfect. Ah! Okay, yawn. Alright, also, if you're wondering why my character, looks, this way, don't ask me, ask chat, because they're the ones that, made all the choices on that front.
Day.
Hey.
What do you need?
Hi. Alright, let's head to Whiterun. At least Chibi has feet. You know what? That's true. Jemmy? Why is he just laying in the middle of the road? Wow. Jemmy, we gotta go. Come on. We're going to Whiterun. Come on. Bro is slow. Come on. You can, you know, work your little feet. Work your little feet. Come on. There he goes. Run. What? There you go. Come on. Stay on track. Stay on track. Like I said, don't ask me. So I'm doing a donathon right now. All tips and bits. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it does. Do count to the donathon, the streamathon goals. And it's not a traditional donathon just because I am still recovering from mono. So instead of doing like 1 12-hour stream, thank you, we're stretching it out over 4 days now. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it'll last from today's stream to the end of Thursday. And one of our goals was that one, we are getting a new cover, as well as chat creates a Skyrim character for me, and this is what chat came up with. But we are also getting a new cover And on Thursday, on the last day of the Donathon, we're gonna do all of the goals. So right now we have also unlocked Chat Makes Evie a Cocktail and Chat Makes Evie a Pizza. So if you'd like to participate in those, they are in the Discord. If you'd like to vote on what goes on the pizza and what goes in the cocktail, because it's and on my new profile picture for a month that I will have to have on my professional platforms. Yippee! So. That is going on now. So it's probably gonna still be my like normal stream out. Ah, thank you for the 100 bits. Let me add $1 to the thingy. Thank you for the 100 bits. I don't know what sound it decided to play, but that's okay. I don't know. Let me see. Is it on? Okay. Oh, my sound alerts was muted. I'm so sorry. Holy shit. Let me see. I feel bad now because it didn't play the sound. I'm sorry, Ryan. Wait, hold on. Let me play a random sound just to make it up to you. I apologize. Let me see my alerts. Can I play a random sound just to do that? Here, random sound. Is it not working? Is the little thing popping up? Why is it not playing the sounds? Wait, hold on. I don't know why it's not playing. Hold on, let me see if I can. Well, now I'm kind of sad. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Oh! There it goes. Okay. I guess it's just a little delayed then. Let me update the goal. So that'll be, let's see. Reset goal. We are now at 261. 61. Okay, 261. There we go. Alright, poggers. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Alright. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate you. But yeah, so once we get to, and every $100 increments, we spin the punishment wheel. And one of those wheels did have me turn into, one of those rolls did have me turn into a cat girl for a little bit, which was a bit humiliating, but that's okay. And the other had me rizzing chat for 10 minutes. So I feel like that was more punishment for you guys than it was for me. But every 100 we will be spinning the punishment wheel. And I think our next goal is going to be doing a Gartic Phone stream with you guys. So all the goals are going to be completed on Thursday, where we'll be wrapping everything. But yeah, so I'll be streaming every day at 6:30 p.m. EST until my debut, which is on Wednesday for my brand new Skyrim model, and I'm really excited. Where's Jetmute? Oh, motherfucker, we lost him. Maybe he'll teleport when I go into Whiterun. Maybe he'll teleport. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's fine, right? It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be cool. All right. Hey. God, she's so tall. God damn it.
Hold. City's closed with the dragons about. Official business only.
Please?
Fine. But we'll be keeping an eye on you.
Yay! Okay. Also, I never leveled up, I don't think. Let's put all her points into health, make her thick as hell. Oh my god, we leveled up a lot. And let's put all her points in Riz, because I think it'll be funny. Let's see. Where's her Riz? What's her Riz at? 53 Riz. Perfect. Okay. Yapping Mastery. Yapping Mastery 2. Bribery. That sounds important. Still. Let's see. Performer, I think would be good. Yeah, let me perform. I think the people would love to watch her perform. I think that'd be great. Speak with Animals does actually sound kind of fun. Irresistible Dance. Perfect. Give me that. Irresistible Dance. Golden Fiddle. Okay. Perfect. One more. Encore. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Perfect. I don't think we need any combat skills. We only need Riz. I think if we can just Riz our way out of any situation, we'll be in a good spot. All right. Let's head in to Whiterun. Whiterun. Okay. Let's see. And we'll talk to Jarl. Wait. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Do we have the quest to talk to Jarl Balgruuf? I just realized that. Did we ever get the quest? That, oh,
we'll pay whatever it takes, but we must
Let's,
have more swords for the
okay, we're gonna go talk to Jarl Balin. See what happens. But I do think that maybe we need to go back to Riverwood and talk to somebody to get the quest. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what Jarl Ballin has to say, and we'll take it from there. Okay, we'll take it from there. So let me see. Oh Morgan, thank you so much for the resub gamer. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for the 5 months. You now have 5 PlayStations. Thank you. Alright. Let's see. I think what I'll do is once Twitch gives me the data of how many subs we've gotten, I'll take the data from that, and then at the end of the night, I'll add it to the timer as well. So if we do hit the goal after the stream with the subs for Gardic Phone, I will let you guys know in Discord. But I'm gonna go add all of those back in because I appreciate your guys's. So I want to add those in too.
Well, I trust you have something vitally important to tell me. Excellent. Important enough to interrupt me in the middle of council?
Helgen has been burned to ashes.
By Ysmir, Irileth was right. What do you say now, Proventus?
Yeah, this is a very serious discussion, I see.
Continue to trust in the strength of our walls against the dragon?
Against the dragon?
We should send troops to Riverwood at once.
Look at my massive tits, Jarl Balgruuf. Look at me.
That dragon is lurking in the mountains.
Oh, Chemir's here too.
We'll view that as a provocation.
Look,
He'll
he's
assume
so
we're preparing
happy
to
to
join
be here.
Ulfric's side and attack him.
Look at you,
not.
buddy. Anyway, let me motorboat this man.
While the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my people.
Okay, perfect.
Irileth,
Anyway.
send a detachment to Riverwood at once.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yes, my Jarl.
If you'll excuse me, I'll return to my
Yeah,
duties.
you do that. Absolute
That would
beta
be
cuck
best.
male. Get out of here.
Well done. You sought me out on your own initiative. You've done Whiterun a service, and I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me. Suitable for someone of your particular talents.
You want to motorboat my
perhaps.
boobs again?
Come, let's go find Farengar, my court wizard.
I don't know if I want to
been
talk
looking
to
into a
Farengar. I hate
matter
talking to
related to
Farengar.
these
I don't know why, but he
dragons
annoys me.
Rumors of
Okay,
dragons.
so
All this standing
I think what
around
we're
is
gonna
rubbish.
do is
should
we're
be
gonna
taking
wrap
the
up
fight to
here
the
for tonight, just because I'm gonna be so real with you guys. I was really excited to start streaming again, and then I fucked up my voice by screaming into my microphone, and it kind of hurts. So I'm gonna take that as a sign, and hold on, let me turn my BGM back on. And I'm gonna take that as a sign to stop, because I don't want to fuck up my voice again, because we're still going to be streaming Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, because that's when we'll do the pizza and the cocktail. But thank you guys so much for your support. And like I said, if we do hit the 100, I'll save the Wheel of Punishment spin for next stream, and I'll let you guys know in the Discord. But thank you, gamers, so much for hanging out, and thank you for all your support on the first day of our Streamathon. If you would like to contribute or learn more about our Streamathon, we do have a link over there so you can look at all the goals and stuff. Right now, we have made it to... we still have Gardic Phone, 3D Ring Fit stream, acrylic EB standee, showing my mom by Skyrim for $500. That's okay, Beef. Unfortunately, I'm wrapping up for today because my throat hurt, because I hollered too loud because I was excited that everything started working again. But I will be uploading this VOD, and I will be streaming again Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So if you didn't get to see me tonight, you will see me tomorrow for sure. So we still have some goals that we can make, but thank you so much for all the support on the goals so far. So we've made it to chat choosing my profile picture for a month, ordering a pizza with your guys' toppings, and with y'all making me a cocktail. Let's actually look at some of the, hold on, let me would we like to see some of the contenders for this is gonna be dangerous. I'm gonna screen share Discord. Hold on. Let's see what we got actually with let me move chat. What are our contenders for new profile picture? Okay. Let me move my model so we can see them. Well, I'll take a look at them. So the way you're gonna vote on these, by the way, if you're in the Discord, is just react to the one you like, and feel free to post your own, and then react to others people post if you would like to. So let's see. But yeah, don't apologize for being late. I'm just glad you're here. So this one, I like I appreciate it. Very good, very good, very cool option. This is also a good one. This one has a lot of potential. This one also has a lot of potential. That is a war crime. This is... Sometimes I worry about the way you guys perceive me. Am I the one on the left or the one on the right? Because I feel like you can make an argument for both. That is literally me, actually. That is me IRL. Like, that's fine. That is a shopping cart. This is... Who did this? I'm not gonna show their username, but who did this? Who did this? And let's see what's in cocktail time. Let's see. Fireball, Gummy Shark, Campari, Kahlua vodka, and a scoop of coffee ice cream. The MILF cocktail. Oh boy. Screwball, Sunny D, crust the rim of the glass in sugar. Okay, this is gonna taste awful, but I'm in. What are the votes for pizza time? Also, if you're not in the Discord, here's the link if you would like to vote on all of these. What do we have? Okay. Crust. Can I vote on it too? Just, I'm gonna be so honest. I know my vote's gonna probably get outnumbered. I just kind of want to see where it is here. I like thin crust pizza. I know that's a hot topic, but I like thin crust pizza. Okay, hand toss is winning. I like normal amounts of cheese. Extra cheese is winning. You guys know I'm lactose intolerant, right? I'm gonna be shitting. Let's see. Let's do marinara sauce. Who voted for ranch? Who voted for ranch as the sauce? Which one of you motherfuckers? But it looks like Alfredo sauce is winning. Okay. Normal sauce? Okay, well, normal is winning. I have faith. Toppings. I like pepperoni and sausage, personally. Those are my favorites. Okay, this is... You guys are being so normal. Wow, I'm so proud of you. I'm sure that won't change now that I mentioned it. I don't really like non-meats, but if I had to pick one, I like pineapple. I know that's a hot take, but I do really like pineapple. Okay, we've got... Provolone. Shredded provolone is winning right now. Okay. Green peppers, I guess. I don't really like any of these options, honestly. Faded... Okay. This... Oh. And then ranch. I'm a ranch girl. Y'all know I'm a ranch girl. Garlic sauce. Okay, that's... Okay. Oh. So, we will be back tomorrow. And our plan for tomorrow is, will Fucked return? She probably will. I don't think we are going to say goodbye to Fucked just yet. But tomorrow, we actually have a new mod list to play. David, if a lot of people I know found me through TikTok, through the TikTok of David deleting Whiterun, and that was actually from the first Donathon stream we ever did, where he made me a mod list. I didn't know what was in it. And now, after 2 years, actually I think 3 years, David has made me another mod list that I don't know anything about. And he has said that it is very cursed and very shitposty. So that'll be fun. Wednesday, we'll be debuting the new Skyrim, the new Daedra model, which will be really fun. I'm super excited. We'll be showing off my lore video, my original song, and I actually have a new cover as well. There's gonna be a lot of stuff on Wednesday. And I'm really excited for that. And then Thursday, we're going to be completing up the goals, and I might show off some behind-the-scenes stuff on the debut. I think it'll be really fun. So, we're going to wrap up for now. Found you by searching Skyrim on TikTok, and you were the second vid that popped up. Oh my gosh, thank you! I'm so glad that TikTok likes me. It means a lot to me. So, let's see who we're going to raid. Oh, sorry, Cola. I'm wrapping up just because I was too loud and I fucked up my voice and now it hurts. I also forgot to eat dinner because we were too busy troubleshooting things. So I should probably eat something. So we're gonna raid... Who's live right now? Here comes Kina in the live video. Yeah, Kina's in my lore video. She did a really fucking good job on the lore video. So we're saving all the goals for stuff like that for Thursday just because David doesn't have a car right now. So he can't go pick up the pizza. So we're gonna have to plan for it. So that way Thursday we'll be able to... all the stuff will close on Thursday and then we can go pick it up. Because David's car is getting fixed. So let's go raid. Who do we want to raid? We're gonna go raid Ray. So Ray is one of my students. She's super, super sweet. I love her a lot. Please give her the same love and affection you give me. We're gonna send her some love. What is our raid message gonna be? What do we want our raid message to be, chat? What are we gonna do? Cause she's kind of a homie. Like I can say something weird and she'll be down for it. Let's do Uniboob raid. That was funny. Uniboob raid. So here's the message if you don't have emotes, and then here's the message if you do have emotes. Always put the gun emote in there because it's fun. The gun emote just really is fun for the whole family, you know. So there you go. Okay, here we go. All right, please give Ray the same love and affection you give me, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. EST for David's mod list cursed shit. All right, bye bye gamers.